How do you write and deliver a memorable toast? Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I have been tasked to write and deliver a toast for my best friend's wedding, which is coming up. So we're going to write it together. I'm going to read it to you as well. And if you have a toast to give, I'm going to try to give you a system which you can utilize to write a wedding toast, a farewell speech, acceptance speech, or whatever it might be. The best part is I'm going to cover a framework which can allow you to deliver this even if you're put on the spot and don't have the luxury to prepare for it in advance. Let's get into it. We're going to understand the framework to write and deliver a toast, 3 elements to include in your toast to make it holistic and entertaining. And finally, I'm going to read out my toast to you as well to get your feedback. Let's get into it. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Ravi from Frantically Speaking. If you want to level up your communication skills, you can hit subscribe because we release regular communications content. And if you want a coaching in this space, you can book consultation with us by clicking on the Calendly link given in the description. You can chat with us to see if we can work together. Okay, the framework we're going to get into is something that can be applied even if you're put on the spot. It's called as PPF. Very simple. It stands for past, present, and future. You simply want to talk about how you met the people you're speaking about, where are you all now in your relationship, and where you finally hope to be. That's all it is. So tomorrow, if your colleague is having a farewell party and you're tasked to give a speech, you don't have time to prepare, simply talk about how you met them, what's your relationship like now, and what you wish for him or her in the future. I love this framework because it removes the pressure of having to memorize anything. Instead, we're relying just on our past experiences, and it allows us to speak off the cuff without much worry. When I get into the example, you'll be able to understand how this was applied in the toast itself. But beyond this simple framework, there are 3 simple elements you want to keep in mind to make your toast come across as holistic. You want to have a good blend of emotion and humor attached to it as well. So the first element is exactly that, humor itself. But how do you be funny in a toast? It's a little hard for me to do this when I'm put on the spot, but if I have time to prepare it, generally humor comes when you talk about your relationship with the person you're speaking about. There'll be a lot of inside jokes, which you'll see in the example as well, that maybe a person who does not know me and my relationship with the bride and groom might not relate to. But there are some techniques that we can utilize regardless of who we're talking about. And one such technique I absolutely love is called as a ghost writing technique. To understand this, watch this clip. It's by one of my favorite actors, Steve Carell, who plays Michael Scott in the show The Office. He's winning an award over here, and here's his acceptance speech.
I really did not expect this, so I didn't write anything. However, my wife did and handed me something. I'd like to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press for this great honor. I would also like to thank my wife, Nancy, for her constant support and for being so beautiful tonight. That's true. Thanks also to Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant for creating such a wonderful, groundbreaking piece of television, and to Greg Daniels for his talent, courage, and sheer audacity. This is good, thank you. Also to my wife for giving me 2 wonderful children, as painful as her labor might have been. Thanks also to an excellent cast, crew, and writing staff, all of whom I am indebted to. If it were not for you, I would not be here right now. I don't know about that. Steve Sauer, Michelle Bowen, Matt Labov, Holly Burrell, Nancy, my precious wife, who put her career on hold in support of mine, and who sometimes wishes that I would let her know when I'm going to be home late so she can schedule her life, which is no less important than mine. To my parents for not making me go to law school. And finally, to the love of my life, my wife, Nancy. Thank you very much. Great honor.
If you notice, whatever he said about his wife got a laugh simply because he said his wife is the one who wrote this particular speech. And this is a very simple thing to incorporate in any farewell speech, wedding toast that you're giving, where you can make jokes at the expense of the person you're speaking about by just saying that they have ghost written this. So whatever compliments I'm giving them is by them itself. It allows us to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. It allows us to actually compliment them, and it helps to make the audience laugh. The second thing you want to do is you want to add elements in your speech that involve other people from the audience beyond just the people you're speaking about. So if you're giving a wedding toast, don't just speak about the bride and groom, speak about the close friends, speak about other close relative members. The more people we can include without going too overboard with this, the more engaged the audience will be, because people love hearing about them or other people they know within a speech. And finally, the third aspect is to end with a strong message. So in the PPF section, when we reach the future part of it, that's where we leave on a message that helps to add that touch of emotion to the entire speech. We don't just want it to be jokes itself. Okay, so now that we have somewhat of an understanding of elements that we can add within a toast, I'm going to read out my entire toast and tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Just don't be too harsh. Good evening, everyone. As the groom's best friend, it's my job to embarrass him just enough that he regrets choosing me, but not enough to cancel the open bar. Neil and I met in school. A lot of you wouldn't know this, but we had a rocky start. Neil never liked me because he thought I was way too arrogant and someone who tries too hard. I didn't like him because I knew he was right. But eventually, to quote The Hangover, we formed a little wolf pack. But as time passed, the pack started thinning. Our best friend, Duquesne, left for London and never came back. So if any of you want to hear a unique blend of a British accent with a touch of Gujju, he's your guy. And our two other best friends were more a curse than a blessing. Anand would never come for a plan unless it was taking place within a 1 kilometer radius of his house. And Ujjwal would never come for a plan which involved movement unless that movement ended with him at an open bar. So for the longest time, it was just Neil and me against the world. Until 2020. That's when I met Ria. And we went from a sad duo to a slightly less sad trio. Now I must confess, the next part of this toast has been reviewed, revised, and rewritten by Ria herself. I met Ria 5 years ago, and oh golly was I impressed. From all of Neil's girlfriends, I had never seen one with such a perfect combination of beauty, brains, and humor. We all kept asking Neil how on earth had he managed to charm his way into the heart of women so above his league. We all have admitted it. Having Ria as part of our group makes us so much cooler. But seriously, watching these two grow their relation has been awesome. My dad told me that if you want to understand if two people are compatible, don't look at how happy they are coming across to be, because happiness can be fake. If you want to judge true joy, try to observe the transfer of habits from one half to the other, because that cannot be fake. Ria has transferred her habits of working out, being an early riser, and emotional intelligence to Neil. Neil has transferred his knowledge of money, humor, and PlayStations. And that to me shows that these two are in the pursuit of true happiness. Thank you for giving me a moment of your time. Let's wish them the best life together. Okay, so that was my toast. It's not perfect. I'm still working on it, but give me your feedback in the comments below and tell me if I have not utilized the few elements above as effectively as I should have, or if there are any new things that we can add here as well. At the same time, if you have a retirement speech to give to somebody, we have a similar video like this created, which you can check out right here.